everybody, Coach Shane here with SB Endurance, coming to you with another endurance hack today. Today we got our first big snow of the year in Wisconsin. Not a huge dumping, but a good solid 5 inches of some pretty heavy wet snow. And I thought it was a great opportunity to do a video on what you can do to help improve your traction when you're road running in winter time. And there's some various options that are out there that people are probably already aware of. Things like yak tracks can be a good option to put onto your shoes to give yourself some additional traction. Micro spikes, Katula makes micro spikes, which are another option that work pretty well for more extreme scenarios. I've actually got here with me one of the pairs of winter running shoes that I use. And this is the Salomon Speed Spike. Salomon also makes another one called the Spike Cross, which is a variant of the Speed Cross shoe. This one's a little bit lower drop than the Speed Cross. They don't actually make this one anymore, but I've had 2 pairs of these and have really loved them. And just like with your yak tracks, your micro spikes, usually there's some kind of contact with metal onto ice or snow or that kind of thing to help increase traction. So with these ones, these actually have little spikes integrated right into the lugs, and these are great. You can run trails in the winter time, whether they're covered in ice or snow or mix of stuff, on roads if you need to. Probably don't want to run them on bare cement, but you could. And really just a great all-around winter running shoe. Again, they don't make this one anymore, Salomon doesn't, but they do make the Spike Cross. Other companies out there like Icebug, they have some different shoes that have the spikes in them. I think VJ shoes might as well, but don't quote me on that. So there are some different options out there. However, those are very specific shoes. Generally, they're more of a trail shoe. Again, this one's got really deep lugs on it. These are like 6 or 8 millimeter lugs. And if you want to road run, that's maybe too much. For trails, they're really great. I've ran in really deep snow with ice and had good traction in these in the winter time, and they really serve their purpose. They work awesome. However, they are expensive. This pair of shoes is like $160. I think the Speed Spike, or Spike Cross rather, is right around the same price. And that's a lot for a pair of shoes that, unless you're really a dedicated trail runner, if you just need them for the occasional road run when it's not really great conditions out there and you want to have a little extra traction, these may be a little bit of overkill. So there are some other options. Besides the yak tracks, which are fine, and micro spikes are fine. However, I've never really cared for the pull it over your shoe and Velcro it on and hope it stays. I've seen a lot of times where those things come off. I've never liked them. So before I started using these, and still to today on some of my road shoes, there's another option. And that option is to kind of create it all on your own. So I've got a pair of Speed Goats. These are some older Speed Goats. These are ones that I kind of use just in junky conditions, but on the roads, they're a little more worn down. But again, you could do this on your better trail shoes if you really wanted to. I wouldn't suggest it on your favorite pair because what I'm going to show you is probably going to damage them a little bit, but it's going to work great in those winter conditions where the roads aren't great or the trails aren't great. You need extra traction, especially when you hit those icy spots. You can do this on a road shoe, but again, don't do it on your shoes that you wear on race day. Don't do it on your most brand new pair of shoes. Do it on a pair that's almost expired, that you're probably only going to do this with a few times. So what you're going to do is you're going to go to your local hardware store and you're going to buy a box of these little guys right here. So this is a sheet metal screw, and these are number 7 by 1/2 inch needlepoint screws, and this is a box of 100. I don't know if it'll focus well there. Box of 100. I got them from the hardware store just a mile down the road. It was like $4 for 100 screws, right? So $160 pair of Salomon trail shoes that work really well, or $4 box of screws that you can use when you need it. The other great thing with this hack that I'm going to show you, this shoe screw hack, is that you can take them out and generally the shoe's pretty well unfazed. And what you're going to need besides just the shoes that you want to do this to is you're going to need a drill, and you're going to need one of those little screwdriver attachments with the little hex head on it there, just like that, because the little hex head on these sheet metal screws fits right in there just perfectly, and it locks in. So you want to be kind of careful when you're doing this so you don't have screws flying everywhere. But this is going to work really great. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do just a couple on this shoe to show you guys how this works. I've done as many as like 25 or 30 screws in a shoe before, and you could run down a hockey rink and you're not going to slip and fall. And again, you could do it on a trail shoe or you could do it on a road shoe. I've done it on both. On trail shoes, I generally like to put them in the lugs, because if you put them between the lugs, you're not going to get that much bite. You might get a little extra grip on snow. You're not going to get a whole lot of bite on ice, because the depth of the lug may block the head of the screw, because it's really the head of the screw that's sticking out. It's not the actual screw part. And you want to be careful. Again, these ones are 1/2 inch. You don't want to get ones that are too long, because if they're too long, they're going to stick through the sole of the shoe and stick you in the foot. So when I put this in, it's going to go straight, the screw part's going to go straight into the shoe, and I'm going to put them all the way in, and I'll put a couple in here, and then I'll show you guys what it looks like. All right, so I've just put 3 screws into this particular shoe so I can show you what this looks like up close here. But those are going to work really great. They bite into ice like you would not believe, because all your weight is pushing down on those screws, and there is a little bit of a lip on that hex head as well. So these things work awesome, and I'll probably keep working on this shoe and do the whole thing and just get these ready for winter. Again, this is a pair of shoes that's almost expired, ready to go out the door. But they still maybe have a few miles left in them that you can use on those days where it might be icy or it's fresh snow and you don't know what's under that snow. This is a really great option. So again, grab a pair of road shoes, grab a pair of trail shoes, go to the hardware store, get yourself a $4 box of sheet metal screws. These are 1/2 inch sheet metal screws. I wouldn't go much longer than that. It's plenty for it to stay in the shoe, but not so much that it's going to go all the way through the sole of the shoe. And go to town on those shoes, get yourself some spikes in there, and you'll be ready to go for all those wintertime conditions. So this hack works really great. I highly recommend it. I've done it for years, in addition to using shoes with spikes and yak tracks and micro spikes and all that stuff. This is one of the better and more economical options if you only have a few wintertime runs that you have to do, or on a pair of shoes where you need to do it occasionally. So if you guys found this content useful, I'd really appreciate it if you would subscribe to the channel, like the video, leave a comment below if you've tried this before. Let me know how it's worked out for you, or if you have anything additional that you've done with your shoes in the winter time. There are some other things that I like to use. If you look back at my endurance hack about trail gaiters from a while back, combining this in the wintertime with the trail gaiter is a great idea to keep the snow out of your shoes, in addition to having great traction. So you can kind of put both of those endurance hacks together and be ready for that wintertime running. So again, please like and subscribe. I'd really appreciate it. We'll see you guys soon. Have a great day.